Okay, now we've come down to the last part of the restaurant floor, which is the grill line. The grill line is the single most important part that you want to make sure that you clean properly, because the grill line is where all the magic happens. It's where they prepare your food, it's where they prep your food, it's where they cook it, they serve it, they plate it up, etc. As well as the fact that the grill line is probably the most improperly cleaned portion of any restaurant, and it's so important that we clean the grill line properly to make sure that it's set up and ready to go for the morning. Okay, as you can see, we got our mop bucket here with the cleaning solution, and I have prepared it with a fresh batch of solution, as you can see right there, because you definitely don't want to be using a dirty batch of solution when it comes to cleaning, because otherwise you're just spreading the grease around and you don't want to. The first thing you have to do to get step 3 done properly and ready for step 4, which is the actual deck brushing, is you have to take the wash and wash solution and literally drown your floor in the solution like so, just like a slop mop, because this is going to give you enough chemical and enough enough chemical to utilize with the deck brush to scrub the grill line and scrub the grill line properly the way it needs to be done, so that way you're ready to go health code ready in the morning. So when you get ready to deck brush, always saturate your floor in solution every single time. Okay? Next, take your deck brush and how you deck brush, same way you squeegee, but instead of pulling towards you, you push away. Push down, away, down, away, down, away, down, away. Push down and away, so that way it's just like scrubbing dishes. You want to make sure you scrub the floor well. You always want to get the grout too. To get the grout, you tip your deck brush up on end like so, and just go with the grout line, like that. Just move across the grout line, because that's going to get that grout line clean and going to make sure that there's no food, no debris or grease or anything like that stuck in your grout line. Alright, as you can see, we finally finished scrubbing the grill line right here. We've worked in the grout lines, we've worked the actual floor itself, so that way we've gotten all the grease and stuff like that scrubbed down and it's ready for a final mop. Now for this, you can choose to do two things. You could either use one, a squeegee everything towards the drain, or two, you can actually use a mop. Me, I like to use a dry mop to pick it up, because the idea of the mop is to pick up as much water and grease and dirt as possible, so that way you have a clean floor when you're done. Okay, now the last thing you want to do after mopping everything up is you want to make sure that you get up any extra debris, etc., that may be left on the floor. As you can see how nice that dry mop picked up all the liquid, all the grease, and you can also see how you've got some sticks, some food particles and things like that still left. Basically, that's what you do every single time. Once you apply a solution, you want to go back over, take a broom and a dustpan and sweep up, because when you sweep up, that's going to get any initial debris and stuff like that that may have been pulled up by the mop, by the scrubbing of the floors and everything else that you haven't gotten yet. Alright, so that's it, folks. This concludes the training video on how to completely wash, mop, scrub, and clean the kitchen floors. Next is going to be front of house, but that will be a video for another day. However, let's take the time to step back and take a look at our finished product. You always want to do a dummy check before you go. Dummy check is simply this: what have I forgotten that I have not got yet? You always want to do one, because sometimes you'll forget things, sometimes you won't. So we're going to walk through the restaurant, and I want you to know the cleanliness of the restaurant now compared to what it was when we first started this tutorial. There's a vast difference, and can I guarantee your results will be the same as mine? No, I can't, because I'm not you. But can I tell you that the system works? Yes, because now we have a finished product for you to look at that can say the system works. And it doesn't matter. Some people may ask, okay, well, what about other chemicals? Maybe we don't have Ecolab Wash and Walk. Maybe we just have regular degreaser and floor cleaner. That's fine. The system is the same no matter what type of chemical you use. You first have to sweep, then you have to hose down with a pressure hose, then you have to sweep up your debris again after you finish prepping the floors. Then, after you finish prepping the floors, you put your solution on the floors. That's step number 4. Step number 3. Step number 4 is you always want to take a deck brush or a stiff bristle brush and scrub your floors where they need to be scrubbed to make sure you get all the food, all the grease, and all the debris. Step number 5, you mop up the solution or squeegee it towards your drains, you walk away, and you're done. And that's it. So let's recap those steps. 1, sweep up and mop up any spills. Okay? Step 2, you want to make sure that you get your mop bucket ready with your solution and you use the proper directions that your solution calls for by first reading directions on your chemical before you start working with the chemical, so you know how to use the chemical properly. Step number 3 is apply your chemical to the floor. Step number 4 is take your deck brush and scrub your floor down. And step number 5 is you mop up and then again sweep up any initial debris or grease or anything else that may have been knocked loose, so that way at the end of the day you have nothing but a nice clean floor. So here's what we're going to do, is take a look at the finished product now. Y'all saw what it was when I first walked through. Now here's what it looks like when we're done. Just look at the floors and notice the cleanliness of everything. This here is the server galley entranceway. This here is the secondary entranceway. There's your dish racks. This here is your expo line floor, as you can see right here. Now we're walking down towards the dish pit. This is your dish pit floor. Now we're walking into the dish pit. As you can see, there was a nice nasty greasy mess right there where my foot is. That mess has now been cleaned up. There's a nice nasty greasy mess of food and grease right here where we're standing. That's been cleaned up. The floors have been cleaned up. As you can see, the grill line, you'll notice the biggest difference. How the grill line was actually kind of black with just grease and dirt and grime and things like that. Here's your grill line now after applying the system used to clean your kitchen floors properly. This here is the prep line. As you can see right here, all the drains have been cleaned up. The floor is still drying in some areas, hence the wetness. This here is your baking machine where there used to be a nice mess there. This here is your prep table. This here is your back galley. This here is your sous grill, is where your sous chef was. Right here. This here is the area next to where we keep our mop bucket, our supplies, things like that. If you notice the floor right here, it's been nice and cleaned up. This is the back floor over here where the storage, where everything's stored at. And now we're walking through the secondary hallway, which, if you noticed before, was a big greasy mess. Now you can see that the grease has been cleaned up and the floor has been cleaned. So this concludes my very first YouTube video. Hopefully you'll find this enjoyable, informative, and very simple as far as a method to use to clean kitchens with, so that way if you're just a beginner or if you're a professional like myself who's been doing it for a while, you have a system you can go by that will get you provable results. So again, my name is Daniel Hubble. Thank you everybody for watching my YouTube video. Again, I would appreciate any type of comments, feedback, anything like that, since this is something I'm starting and I'm going to be growing it along with the rest of my company. I'd like to hear questions, concerns, anything like that that may come across. Let's say you've got something that you want cleaned up but you just don't know how to clean it. Shoot me an email. This here is my business card. right there. Although you can't see it very well. But anyway, shoot me an email. It's danielhubble30@gmail.com, or comment me on my video. Again, thank you everybody for watching, and it's my pleasure to do this, and it's going to be a fun ride, and hopefully it's going to help out a lot of people. Thank you.